So why I deliberately started with these guys, because I want you to have a feel of maybe what people are saying out there.
True.
Yeah, I'm sure you've gone out there, you've met people, some are massaging your ego, no, this is what you've done, this is what you've done. You know, people will always say things. But, you know, we want to paint a picture. Because besides what we do, we come here, we sit as media people. You come here, you sit as the president of Zimbabwe Football Association. But at the end of it all, or before all this, we are human beings and we are supporters of the game.
Absolutely.
Right. Remember when we were talking about you going to watch Chelsea, you going to watch your favorite team that we're not going to talk about. You tried to steer away from it. But look, that only shows that before everything else, we've got an allegiance to certain teams. Absolutely. And we would want to see certain things. So for me, what I would probably want to see happening more is the game being played, because there was an issue with women's football. You know, it was in danger. It was the resumption was postponed because there was no money. You know, teams are struggling and all that. Then a benefactor came with about 10 grand, you know, to put to referees and all that. But there's more that you can do in that area, because right now women's football is suffering. If I say it's limping, no, I'm not doing justice. It's suffering because it's only that 10,000. But look at the people who are trying to put money in there. Is it at the same level with the men's game? Yes, it is. Recently, we saw the young mighty warriors, the under-17s. They won 12-2 against Lesotho. You know, we've got talented players. The hunger is there. But we also want the support system to be okay. Where are they playing when they are back home? And again, I want, yes, I know it's only 100 days, but I want to see more in terms of the game being played at the junior level. Structured properly. You've been signing memorandum of understanding with a lot of organizations, but we also want you to get into enough, you know, in fact, sitting down with the Ministry of Primary and Secondary and, you know, agreeing that football has to be played throughout the year, not to have it as a second term kind of game. Yes, there is athletics, but we want to see football being played, because if you go to FIFA or CAF, they will tell you the amount of hours that any youngster should be playing. They talk about 10,000 hours or something like that. But I know maybe that's something that you're working on. But these are some of the things that I want you to see. But here you are.
Yes.
First 100 days in office.
Yeah.
How has it been like?
I think it's been, of course, a grueling 100 days. A bit of heavy lifting. Not a bit, maybe most of the time, maybe a lot of heavy lifting, because as I had pronounced in our manifesto to say, it's important to make sure that we have a strong institution to support all our ambitions. You know, talk about your grassroots, talk about coming up with a footballing philosophy, talk about building the correct partnerships. You need to ensure that the institution itself commands respect from all stakeholders. So that has been very, very important. I mean, there's a number of issues that I could speak to where I would say we've done well, but of course there's also a lot of issues where I believe we're falling short. And I'll be the first one to tell you that I'm not happy at all with the way we've been, and I believe we could do better. We could do better. There's a number of areas I could cite. I think we can improve in terms of our standards on the referees. We've of course been offering the training. I think recently we did discipline a few, but that process is ongoing. Reviewing the matches, we will probably put more systems in place to make sure that we become as good as any other FA or MA globally that is doing the best on refereeing. Of course, you would know that even in the EPL, there's always going to be issues on refereeing. Maybe even the Spanish La Liga, they will say, oh, Real Madrid always buys referees. All those things will happen. But for Zimbabwe, I think our desire as an executive committee is to make sure that we are as close as possible to having the best refereeing framework in place. So we're not happy, but we are working on that, and the committee is committed to making sure that we address all the issues that are raised. In fact, we're in a very listening leadership, because when issues are raised, we are more than happy to address them, face them. There's no one who has ulterior motives other than making Zimbabwean football better.